Last week, a clip of Tim Walz went viral with a fake narrative that questioned his expertise in a certain area, and it even questioned his manhood. And because no bad deed goes unpunished, he got his revenge today with an appearance on The View, and I have the full story for you next. The Walz clips I'm about to show leading up to that moment were just posted to Kamala Harris's X account, so you know they are a priority to the campaign. And they have one thing in common. They are a systematic takedown of Donald Trump's extremism. In this first video, Walz talks about the exhausted Trump on his tour of insanity, alluding to the publicity stunt as a fry cook at McDonald's, a mention of Arnold Palmer's member, and he wasn't referring to someone who pays dues at a country club, and his unhinged threats about going after the enemy from within.
It's very clear that, as you said, Donald Trump is spiraling down, unhinged. What worries me about these comments, some of these that are just so strange that they're hard to imagine, it's the dangerous ones in the middle of that, the enemy from within, and some of them. Don't risk it with this. This is dangerous talk. This is the talk of dictators, and I think Kamala Harris clearly understands that. The separation and the separation of powers is the genius of this country, and the military is responsible to the Constitution and the American people, not the president.
And in this next clip, the usually jovial Walz turns serious as he does a deeper dive into Trump's enemy from within comments. Watch as he expresses grave concern over Trump's threat to turn the military on his political opponents and overrun the constitutional guardrails that are in place.
Don't listen to us on this. Listen to people who are closest to him. Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said most dangerous man America's ever faced. His chief of staff, John Kelly, a four-star general, said he's the most flawed human being. I did serve for 24 years, and I'm proud that you get called up for state duty during flooding and hurricanes. And as governor, you use the National Guard for domestic missions, called Title 32 missions, or federal missions, Title 10, when they fall under the president. But we have something in this country, starting out with posse comitatus in the Insurrection Act, that doesn't allow for the use of troops against U.S. citizens. It's pretty foundational to our democracy that the person who's in charge can't use the military to suppress their political rivals. But I will say this, there was an attempt to weaken the Insurrection Act after Hurricane Katrina, and myself and Congressman Davis from Virginia worked to make sure we restored those protections. These are constitutional guardrails, and I think what we saw with Senator Vance's answer about the 2020 election is the guardrails are off with Donald Trump right now.
And now the moment when Joy Behar asked Walz about that viral video, and he was able to turn it into a dig on Trump. You see, there was a clip of Walz, a hunter and safe and sane gun advocate, claiming that he was struggling to load his shotgun. It was later debunked as a clip of him unloading it and checking the action. Not that it even matters, because every gun owner has had moments that needed a little more attention to ensure safety. But when the topic came up, Walz had this well-pointed zinger in the barrel, and he let it fly on Trump's current and ironic status with gun ownership.
So you're out hunting pheasants.
Yep.
Is that enough to convince people there's a middle ground on this issue? Because right now, right-wingers are coming after you for how you handled your shotgun.
Well, I can shoot better than all of them. I guarantee. I got the trophies to prove it. Yeah. Look, we are both gun owners. First time maybe on the Democratic ticket in modern times. The Republican nominee can't pass a background check to get a gun. So he's like, I know that Donald Trump's handlers are saying he's exhausted. So are we. Americans are exhausted with the stuff that he does, the chaos. I'm an optimist, but our systems are strained, and the ability to politicize the military has never been tried in this country. He's trying it. So I think it's a legitimate one. And
any suggestion that a president or presidential candidate would consider using the military against his opponent is deeply concerning, because it threatens the foundational principles of a democracy. And even if Trump is bluffing, and this is just more of his twisted rhetoric, it still results in eroding public trust in democratic institutions, and it deepens the divide by amplifying the culture of fear that he established. And we know that his followers get excitedly triggered by such things, and some would take it upon themselves to act upon his wishes and to dangerous extremes like they did on January 6th. And it also sets a dangerous precedent for future extreme candidates who may be inclined to keep his legacy going by following the authoritarian blueprint. I'm Dan. Thanks for watching, and let's continue to occupy sane democracy together by showing up November 5th. And Tim Walz, I can see you're locked and loaded, so I'll give you the final word.
One nice thing about Donald Trump is
he will not be president again.